everyone. My name is Beverly Liner and I'm from Chalk Bell. That is my business name, but I am an independent designer for Chalk Couture. So I normally stream a couple of days a week, but unfortunately this week my laptop is no longer sufficient to stream live. So in the meantime, I'm going to be recording videos for you so that you can still see my projects from beginning to finish. If you have any questions about Chalk Couture, make sure that you post them in the comments, or you could also send me a private message on Instagram or Facebook. Today we're going to do a plant stand. This is a pretty primitive plant stand, but still pretty sturdy, and I think it would be really pretty if we painted it white. So we're going to use Rust-Oleum white and then chalk paint, of course, and then we're going to put this transfer on top. I'm still kind of wondering if we're going to do gray or black, so we'll figure that out. The longer I start painting it, I'm sure I'll get a clearer vision in my head of what I'm going to do. So let's go ahead and get started. If you guys have any questions, again, make sure that you shoot them in the comments, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so I have painted this table completely white. It's still drying a little bit. I might take the heat gun to it a little bit longer. Then we're going to put some paste finishing wax on it that will kind of seal it and also be a barrier for the transfer so it doesn't stick too harshly. Here's our transfer that's going to be on it. So I have been going back and forth about which color to use. And normally, if I were alive, I would ask you guys. So I have this really light sage color that might look really pretty on it. Actually would look really pretty on it. And I also have gray. But this gray is really light. And I also have black. So what I'm thinking is I think I'm going to try the gray. If I don't like the gray, because I do want the piece to be, you know, it's going to be for sale. So I want maybe you want to stick to more neutral. But I'm so pulled because this would actually be really unique and pretty. So thinking about it, I'm going to go ahead and wax this and then see what I think after thinking about it for a couple of minutes. So this wax, like I say, will kind of seal it, and it will also put a barrier so the transfer doesn't stick too harshly. You want to wax almost every surface that's wood. It's not chalkboard. If you do canvas, burlap, you know, you don't want to wax those surfaces, but you definitely want to wax your wood surfaces. See if kind of shine I've got on there. I might put a little bit more. I do notice that I kind of bump that up. I'm probably gonna have to touch this table up a little bit. Normally you would let these surfaces dry. I usually am okay using the heat gun and then just waxing it and chalking it. I do a lot of projects fairly quickly because that heat gun heats it up, but I'll go fix those little spots up. You guys can't tell because of that camera. It's in a pretty good spot with the light. So I think I'm going to go bold and I'm going to do the green. It's not necessarily so bold, but so when you get a new transfer, you want to fuzz it. Because this has got a lot of silk screen and I've used it once before, I'm not going to fuzz it today unless I put it on and it starts to really stick. Ugh, I love that pattern. I think we're going to be just fine without fuzzing it. So I want to make sure that I get all the air bubbles out of that because we don't want bleeding. And your bigger transfers that have a lot of details can bleed a little bit. It does happen. I'm going to try to lower my camera just a little bit so you guys can get a little more detail. All right, we're going to try the green. I'm feeling a little more bold this morning. This is a brand new paste, so I might have to stir it up. I might be fine. We'll see. It's a pretty good consistency. I think I'm going to stir it up anyway, just to break up the clunkiness. This is my multi-tool. Yeah, definitely needed to stir it up. Sometimes the paste settles a little bit during shipping, so it happens. So I'm actually going to add a little bit of distilled water. So we need a little distilled water in here. Just a tiny bit at a time. We don't want to make it too runny. And it has to be distilled water. If you don't use distilled water and use tap water, it can do some funky things to your paste. All right, I'm going to use some more. This multi-tool is amazing for stirring. We're just going to have to work at it a little bit. Normally it comes out amazing, but sometimes shipping just does some weird things. It's been sitting a little bit. We'll get it there. The nice thing is it's always workable. Even if you get super hard paste, you can take boiling water and put it in your paste, stir it up, and it'll get it right back to the consistency that you need. It's there, it's getting there. We want it to be kind of like sour cream. We'll put just the tiniest little bit in there. Here we go. It's getting a lot better. So these transfers, these transfers take a bit of, quite a bit of paste. I mean, not a ton, but a good amount. And when I do a large transfer, I don't want my paste to dry while I'm trying to chalk the entire thing. So we do a little technique of chalking and lifting. Some peel it and put it back down. I like to just lift it. Okay, got my squeegee ready, making sure there's no air bubbles. I'm going to start chalking. And when I'm putting it on, I'm generous. There's an air bubble. Let me fix that. I'm pretty generous because I can squeegee off what I don't want. And I try to pull in the same direction for the most part. In case there are any air bubbles, it'll work them out. I've done this very quickly. The larger squeegee makes it easier to do a large area. Okay, so I spread all that out. I'm going to start lifting. Ooh, that's pretty. My camera does wash it out a little bit, so it's harder to see how pretty it is, but I'll show you the end product. When you think you got all your air bubbles out. Chalking and pulling. Just squeegee off the excess. You don't want a ton of paste on there. You want to squeegee it off because you want to use it for as many projects as you can. And also, it just dries quicker. Oh my goodness, that is absolutely gorgeous. I'm so glad that I chose the green. Oh, that's lovely. So lovely. It's gorgeous. All right, put my paste back in the jar. Take my heat gun and dry that. Barely reaching. I had very little bleeding. The flowers turned out beautiful. There's some of the writing that I think started to dry. I probably let that sit a little bit too long, so it lifted back up with the screen, but that's okay. And that is our project. We have a plant stand. It's white, sorry, you can see underneath my table a little bit. With a lovely sage transfer on top.